Good morning and hello everyone. It is a very great pleasure for me to welcome you all to this conference on preparedness for future pandemics from a global perspective. My name is Anne Brüggemann. I work at the DFG head office and I am your host today. It is wonderful, and we see it already, that we have so many participants today to discuss the research of more than 100 DFG-funded research projects related to the COVID-19 pandemic. We will straight away start with our plenary session to welcome you first and then stimulate our discussion through our keynote speech. Afterwards, you will move on to a more in-depth discussion of all the research projects in thematically clustered rooms that are chaired by members of the DFG's Interdisciplinary Commission for Pandemic Research. In the afternoon, we want to regather in plenary for a closing panel to bring together even more expert perspectives on research during the coronavirus pandemic and beyond. We plan to close today a little after 5 p.m. with a short resume. Our aim today is to give you plenty of opportunity for networking, particularly crossover disciplines. So please make extensive use of the conference platform for this purpose. We also kindly invite you to fill out your profile details by clicking on the profile icon in the header bar on the right of the landing page, the main stage. At the left side, you are able to navigate between the different functions. Now we are at the main stage. The mix and mingling will take place during the breaks under networking. Feel free to use the global chat function to interact with other people during the live stream. A digital list of participants can be found by clicking on Attendee. You see it here. If you have any questions or problems, please reach out to our team using the Help Desk button. Okay, now let us begin. I now have the great pleasure of welcoming the President of the Deutsche Forschungsgemeinschaft, Professor Katja Becker, who is here to greet you and open this conference for us. Katja Becker has a background in medicine and biochemistry and is an expert for research on infectious disease. Since 2020, Professor Becker is president of the DFG, and she also chairs the Commission for Pandemic Research. Professor Becker, very great to have you here. Welcome, and you have the word.
Ja, welcome. Hallo, guten Morgen, liebe Frau Brüggemann. Vielen Dank. Thank you very much. And yeah, dear researchers, colleagues, and distinguished guests, it is with such a great pleasure that I can welcome you all to today's research conference, as you know, on preparedness for future pandemics from a global perspective. And I'm really delighted to see so many familiar faces participating, as well as newcomers. And I'm glad you're all able to join us here today, as I really think this conference is an outstanding opportunity to capture a precious moment in the general organization of pandemic research. It is also quite significant, I think, in terms of exploring the future potential of pandemic research together, researchers and research administrators alike, but especially as a chance for you as researchers to get together to examine the issues from all angles of academia. So after all, we are no longer in the very early stages of pandemic research, but have seen the complex interconnectedness of a range of scholarly questions being put to work. And it is only now that we are starting to grasp the full extent of this complexity. And this is actually why we are here today, to productively combine the variety of academic knowledge and research interests with the aim of successfully coming to grips with the task at hand. This task is, on one hand, to analyze and better understand the complexities of the ongoing event. And as we have heard from, today's numbers, the event is indeed ongoing, while on the other hand, coming up with solutions and answers to concrete needs in the most diverse areas of practical life, ranging from healthcare and classroom ventilation to global supply chains. This conference, therefore, I think has one main objective: to provide space for all researchers with a strong pandemic research profile to get to know each other better and to promote dialogue and mutual inspiration. I'm very hopeful that this may lead to further research and especially more cross-disciplinary collaboration. This is also why I would like to invite you to talk to participants from different areas of research with all different perspectives, as Anne Brüggemann already pointed out. All colleagues here today have, I think, one thing in common. This is a strong interest in pandemics and an excellent project on one or more aspects of the subject. To generalize, curiosity-driven collaboration combining different disciplinary frameworks has the potential to provide powerful answers to the many methodological challenges that are typical of pandemic research. The greater our knowledge of pandemics, the more challenging the methodological quest. So our aim is to contribute to pandemic preparedness. From a methodological point of view, your research is the key to unlocking the treasures of ever more refined methodological approaches, ultimately leading to a higher level of preparedness for future pandemics. And actually, in addition, in the current situation, not only do we have to support the emergence of new and sound knowledge, we also have to guarantee that researchers all over the world are able to share their data and findings. In order to fight global societal challenges, such as pandemics, we need powerful global research infrastructures as well. The call for cross-border academic collaboration actually has never been more urgent than it is today. In fact, science and the humanities, research and technology are the best tools we have to prepare for unseen or unforeseeable events such as pandemic outbreaks. And to take this idea a little further, where would we be today without the curiosity of those scientists who started doing research into coronaviruses and the mRNA vaccination process all those years ago? Incidentally, the latter has its origins in cancer research and is yet another example of how later application contexts of a research project are not necessarily foreseeable at the time of funding. One perfect case in point, as most of you know, is the German company BioNTech, which was among the first to deliver an effective vaccine. The company was co-founded by Ugo Shahin, an excellent researcher whose fundamental work on mRNA-based vaccines was also funded by the DFG as long as about 15 years ago. As we can see today, such research, both fundamental and outstanding, offers answers to questions that have not yet arisen and in some cases can't even be formulated at the time of funding. Moreover, funding research arising from independent curiosity lays the foundation for rapid yet reliable results. not only in the field of vaccine development, but also in relation to other research requirements of the future. The current situation clearly demonstrates that the best way to prepare for new and unforeseeable societal challenges, be they biomedical or other, is to generate knowledge repositories. Knowledge repositories that are not yet related to specific problems, but rather to open questions. You can only produce a vaccine if you know the virus. So funding the intrinsic motivation and curiosity of researchers has proven to be the earliest possible crisis prevention and the best way to build research infrastructures that contribute to resilient societies. Now, reflecting on the last 1.5 years, we can see what it can mean to a field of research to become the pacemaker for an entire society and for the entire world within a very short period of time. When there is an acute demand for good summaries of previous findings, very swift results from newly launched projects, and reliable interpretations of future developments. Research has responded to these expectations in real time and under great pressure, both competently and I really have seen that with very great commitment. Nonetheless, we're also seeing that where results are produced increasingly quickly and are more and more provisional in nature, there are limits to their usefulness. So high quality research will continue to take time for reflection and validation. The fact that it was possible to achieve so much so quickly in recent months was only due to the relevant research questions having already been investigated thoroughly and with the necessary breadth well in advance. So allow me to underline something that we are all perfectly aware of. Yet, in these times of increasing societal expectations, chasing ahead of us faster than ever before, it is something that needs calling to mind even more clearly, namely that research takes time. This insight has to be consistently safeguarded and perhaps even restored to rightful recognition by every generation of high-profile knowledge-driven researchers, by you, your colleagues, and your research groups. And in times of crisis, this insight is perhaps more fragile, though it is certainly not less important, not the slightest. Research has to be able to pursue circuitous paths, and it is often not only years later that its achievements become apparent in contexts that are unexpected or indeed unforeseeable. So please take your time, even when conducting research into time-sensitive phenomena. Furthermore, the trust earned by science among society at large over the past year presents, I think, a great opportunity. It is a gift for an enlightened, knowledge-based society. And it is particularly inspired by the outstanding commitment demonstrated by individual scientists. This trust is not something that can be taken for granted, however. It has to be earned anew every day and comes with immense responsibility. Living up to this trust is first and foremost a question of communication, which must be judicious, prudent, and consistently objective. Secondly, it is a matter of allowing multiple voices to be heard, of weighing up findings and arguments within the societies and humanities themselves. This diversity must be preserved, even when faced with public or political expectations of unambiguousness. Now, it is the DFG's mission to provide you with the space and the time you need to pursue your research agenda successfully. A space where general recognition and funding decisions are based first and foremost on research quality, and where researchers can rely on science-led decision-making. Furthermore, at the DFG, we encourage researchers to reach out to the public to provide information and advice. However, we also try to create spaces where researchers can feel they are among themselves, without third-party influence during the early stages of research. This conference is just one more case in point. The idea is that we are empowering our societies to be better prepared in the long run by posing those questions in a science-led environment today that we will need to focus on as a global pandemic research community. The DFG is committed to facilitating this process. In this regard, the DFG's funding portfolio is, I think, quite helpful. It is possible to apply for funding at any time, on any topic, and for any scale of research project. In fact, we have plenty of opportunities to fund research on pandemics beyond our explicit calls on this topic. So please take a look at our portfolio and contact the members of the DFG's offices for further advice. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and now I'm really looking forward to learning about future research and the fresh insights it will generate. And before we come to that, I am very pleased to announce that we have the honor of welcoming Sir Jeremy Farrar to this conference. He is not only a remarkable researcher in the field of emerging infections and infectious diseases in general, but also one of the world's most experienced experts when it comes to dealing with the complex interface of scientific findings on the one hand and political realities on the other. Besides, he is an outstanding personality whom I had the great pleasure to get to know personally at the Center for Tropical Medicine and Global Health at the University of Oxford quite some years ago, I can tell you. And now I'm very, very much looking forward to exchanging perspectives and opinions with all of you. Thank you very much. And with this, liebe Anne, I would like to hand over to Anne Brüggemann in the DFG head office, who will guide us through the conference today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katja Becker, for welcoming us and for the welcoming words, setting the perfect frame for today's scientific exchange. And I hope you already, or you have still some time to look again at the rich content of the platform and the projects. I know you already looked through the catalog. Thank you again and have a good day. At this point, I would also like to extend a very warm welcome to our partners from the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, from the German Academic Exchange Service, DAAD, and the Fraunhofer Gesellschaft. They offer consultation throughout the day together with our colleagues from the DFG. And you can book a consultation time slot at the lobby. Please use the button there. They are happy to talk to you about your interests.